It's getting into quite a habit of doing that, isn't it? Not freezing. Oh, I look rather kind of dim here. Well, dimmer than usual. Let me just sort that out. Where are we? Oh, now it's too bright. That's too bright. It's just, let's have a little bit of a look and see if we can fix this. I look like Uncle Fester, or I look like I'm in a dungeon somewhere. How's that? That'll do, I think. And let's point the camera back around in its usual direction. Excuse me. There we go, that's better. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. That is the joys of going live. How is everyone? Hope you're all well. It's Friday. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, notably here, which means it's time for a beer. I'm a poet, and I don't know it. I wasn't intending that to rhyme. Cheers, everyone. If I don't tell you, somebody's bound to ask. Heineken this week. Heineken is what I order every week, and let's point that down a little bit. Heineken is what I order every week when I do the online grocery order, and some weeks it gets substituted. Some weeks it's the last couple of weeks it's been Stella and excuse me, hay fever, and sometimes Carlsberg Export. Oh, I know what I need. I need a vape. Excuse me a sec. Let's have a look, see who was first in, teacher's pet and all of that. I see Mark Kerno was first in. A nice one, mate. I don't think you've had the that pleasure recently. I forget these things, but you may have done. I can't remember. But congratulations for getting quick off the mark this week. What are you lads all doing? You all kind of sat there, knowing that I tend to set the stream up about 3 p.m. and you're just waiting with bated breath for the notification on your phone to kind of try and get in. I admire your dedication if that's what you're doing. Then we've got Cal B and the Rocco Cat, Rent to Kill. Then Terry Day, what are you saying there, Terry? An old video of yours popped up on my feed, and I was surprised to see a banjo or a ganjo. Yeah, the banjo guitar thing. Any information or vids of you playing? Yeah, I did do a video with it. It was one of the instruments that was part of that Guitars for Good Causes thing that I was doing. Oh gosh, how long ago was that? Got to be 5 years ago, hasn't it? So yeah, I remember being curious about it, and then it was like, yeah, this is, well, it's like the old saying, is it? What's the difference between an onion and a banjo? No one cries when you chop up the banjo. Then I see we've got Dave Fiendish, and who else? We've got Balder64, Grandpa Joe. Greetings to all you Fatcasters. My weekend starts here at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There is no place that I would rather be than with John and all of you. Wishing you all a happy and safe weekend. Oh, Joe, that's such a nice thing to say. Thank you so much, mate. Then let's have a little bit of a look. We've got Frank Bolam, Autogeddon 1, Timbo. We got Johnny Random and PFY Guitars. Peter Collins, Joe McMurray. Malcolm Thompson is in, so is Sean House and Tom Clark. There's Mr. Fiend Tunes in there, a regular in this parish. And then we've got John Ross, Paul Trainer, and thank you, Paul Trainer, BSc. You are a gentleman, and the letters BSc prove that you are also a scholar. Thank you so much, mate. Then we've got Michael Purcell, Vincent Brennan, Dr. Gomez 1, Peter S, David James, Savvy 64, Chris Ottewell, Jamal 123 is in, so is Ben Allmark, Silent Hybrid, and Robert Forsyth, who is also known as Nancy Davis. I didn't know that, but now I do. You'll live and learn. Every day's a school day. Then who else have we got? We've got Johnny D. Greetings from Ireland's rugged and spectacular Donegal Atlantic coast, where I'm taking a break. Beer o'clock before going out to dinner. Slante. Is that how we pronounce that? I'm never quite sure. I always just say cheers because I'm just that's the limit of my vocabulary. But nice to know that you're off out for it's a proper Friday night thing. That is a few beers and a bite to eat. That's precisely what I'll be doing. It's curry night in the Robson household tonight. Well, of course, without saying it's Friday, isn't it? By the way, a bit of a shout out. I'm not sponsored by this establishment at all, but if there's an American chap called Kalani. I don't know if you've come across him, but he's an American and he's in the UK and he's doing loads of videos like this where reacting to UK foods that he's never eaten before. He's been in Redcar this week and he has tried the infamous Redcar Parmo. So just Kalani. I think it's Kalani. Go and check him out. He's you just have to look at him, and like me, he's got the frame, the physique of a chap who is appreciative of his food, shall we say. I just thought I'd give him a plug because he's been in Redcar today. And then we've got Gary Shaw, Steve Entwistle, Peter Nicholson, Cal B and the Rocco Cat. Stuart Young is in, so is 60 Mans, the Dale of 22. And then David Evans, Peter Goddard, 1960, no less. Then Triple Distilled, there's Johnny, there's Colin Falcon. Colin, I'm going to be pinging you an email in a bit because basically I want to borrow your Strat again, mate, if that's all right. Just for a video that I've got coming up, and I should really buy a Strat, shouldn't I? But why bother when you've got bloke lives around the corner who's got a few. Then we've got Nathan, Cal Texper. Where are we? We've got Ravensmead. We've got Ian Clark. I'm going to be talking about you in a moment, mate, when I start talking about the solo analysis video that's coming up later on. Well, on Monday, basically. We've got Jimmy James, we've got Dudley Squat, we've got William Forrest, we've got Marvellous Bloke, we've got Sargi, we've got Martin Scholes, or Scholes, I don't know. One of them's bound to be right. Bill Mumbo, Jay Aoyong, and Stevie Mack is in. So is Guitar Bass Dude and Jeff Rock. Dingers63 is in, and who else? We've got Ian Checkley, Strumming Ronin, and Guitar Bass Dude. Strumming Ronin, by the way, is the very generous person who sent me that little Ibanez micro guitar, which you saw me kind of doing a couple of videos with. Was it last week? And yes, that has now found its way over to Zoe's place, and I'm sure they will raise some funds with that. So thank you very much. Then we've got Wilson Jones, Rubbish Guitar Bloke. We've got John Channing, and what are you saying there, Triple Distilled? Will John deal with polyphonic sequential confabulastic contortions? I don't even know what those are, mate. We've got Mr. Chris 5254 and Robert Bald. We've got Peter Shields. We've got Heidi and Poppy's World. Good afternoon, John from Andrew. Yes, I know who you are. I think yes. I think I know who that is. In kind of when you're not called Heidi in Poppy's World. Then we got the Gissy 77. We've got Malcolm Spillett. We've got John, you should do a resonator and see how you like that. Yeah, one of those is on my to-do list, mate. It really is. I have already done one when our erstwhile friend, who doesn't seem to crop up very often on the live stream now, but Bottleneck Bob, if you're out there, if you're watching this on catch-up, tip us the wink, mate. But Bottleneck Bob brought his resonator up when he came to see me one time, and I did a little bit of a video about that, just a kind of impromptu video, just while he was here. And that video features a little bit of Bob playing as well. Who else have we got? I think that might be everyone. I think that probably is everyone. Apologies if I've missed you. There's Jed Ellis and Mickey Walnuts and Maria Muggs Davis and Andreas Lundell, or is it Lundell? I don't know. The reason I say that is my dad used to have a mate called his name was Bill Blundell, and he used to get really annoyed if people pronounced it Blundell. And then years later, I used to know somebody else with that surname, and they used to get really annoyed if they said if it was pronounced Blundell. So Blundell, one of them's got to be right. Right, so that's the roll call over with. Thank you all once again. 155 souls on board at the moment. Come to sit and listen to a fat lad talk absolute nonsense for an hour and drink beer. That's basically, if you're new to the stream, I don't think there are any newcomers here, but if you are, and if you're watching on catch up and you've just stumbled across this stream by accident, that's basically what we do here. I drink beer and just ramble off a stream of consciousness, which may or may not be guitar or music related, and it seems to work. So there you go. Anyway, I need more beer. Oh, neck oil. Oh, brilliant. Right, let's pour another one. Everybody get... I do apologise about this squeaky chair, by the way. I've had a look at it, and all the things where you can tighten up a screw or a nut or a bolt underneath all seem to be as tight as the nuts and screws and bolts can be tightened. So I don't know why it is so like it is. I can't really complain because I bought this chair from a charity shop about getting them for 10 years ago now, and it cost me the princely sum of £3. And they said, it was up in town in Redcar, and they said, "How are you going to get it home?" I said, "Well, it's got wheels on it, hasn't it?" So I had a bag of shopping and an office chair that I was wheeling down the pavement as I was coming home. WD-40, John. So I've done that. It's had a liberal coating of not just WD-40, but 3-in-1 as well. What are you saying there, Jimmy James? Silicon spray, man, the pin hinge. Okay, or is that man the pin hinge? That sounds like man the battlements, doesn't it? I'll give it a go. We shall see. What are you saying there, Michael Purcell? Just a correction. The TC Electronic series amp in a pedal, the regular price for these is currently $139. Only the Jim's 45 and DC 30 are £99 at the moment. Okay, well, that is good information. I've got it here. And, there is a video coming up, like a full review of this and a comparison with the Blue guitar I'm on. And I tell you what, I've been swapping back and forth between them for a couple of weeks now since I made that video that you saw yesterday. This is a strong contender. The Blue Guitar Amp 1 has a special place in my heart, but this is kind of winning me over. The thing is, it's like when I do guitar reviews and that kind of thing, I think, especially on YouTube, I think it has a little bit more credibility, to kind of say, well, this guitar, I was playing it through, the Blue Guitar Amp 1, which is, kind of a fairly high-end piece of kit. And like Henning says, when he gets a cheap guitar in and he plays it through all of the kind of ridiculously expensive boutique amps that he plays those guitars through, he kind of says, so if there's any shortcomings with the guitar, if it's a budget guitar, it can't be the amp. Because that end of it is sorted, so that there is that sort of credibility thing of playing through the Blue Guitar Amp 1. It makes the reviews more valid. But just from getting a sound that I like point of view, it is a really close thing between the Blue Guitar Amp 1 and this. And I paid £78 for this. And it's like having a Marshall sound. I mean, if you're one of those kind of people that the Marshall amp experience includes, like, the amp being in the room and the sound pressure levels and the kind of the volume of what you're playing kind of punching you in the gut and flapping your trouser legs. You're not going to get that from this. What this is like, and I meant to say that in the video about this, but I forgot because, you know, I'm me, is imagine if you're plugged in a studio and and you're in the control room and you're playing through a big cooking Marshall amp that's in the booth, and you're hearing the resulting sound coming back at you through the studio monitors. That is what this pedal is like, and that's kind of how I tend to operate now, you know. And I like to have, you know, got studio monitors kind of either side of of the PC I'm on here, and I like to hear that big stereo sound coming back at me. Let's have a look. A lot of people talking about furniture. Mr. Chris 5254. Spray on grease from the pound shop. Swear by it. Yeah, it is getting worse. I'm starting to notice when I'm having to edit that sound out of a lot more videos these days. Rent-a-Kel, let Dougal play with it for half an hour. Let's have a look. I used to call my pal Barry Coburn, or was it Cockburn, Hot Knob, before he changed the pronunciation to Coburn. Yes. Yes, that's that's shades of Hyacinth Bouquet, isn't it? Mickey Walnut to sing, swap the Jim's 35 for a DC 30, John, then you got Marshall tones from a blue guitar and AC 30 tones from a pedal. Can I say something sacrilegious here, right? I love the sound that Rory Gallagher would get out of an AC 30. I love the sound that Brian May gets out of an AC 30. I love the sound. I mean, my first memory of hearing an electric guitar sound was Hank Marvin. What did he play through on all those classic Shadows records? An AC 30. So I'm not dissing the AC 30. I'm far from doing that. It's just I can never get a sound that I like for me playing through an AC 30. I just can't get it dialed in sounding like the way I like an amp to sound. And the same is true of like old school Fender Tweed amps as well. I love the sound of other people playing through them, but they just don't suit me for some reason. Andreas Lundell or Lundell, a loud chair can hide other unwanted noise, other unwanted sounds may come in handy. Yeah, that thought has occurred to me as well, especially given, as I said, it's curry night in the Robson household tonight. Anyway, got a bit to get through, so we're already nearly 20 minutes in, so let me fill you in on what's coming up on the channel this week. You know, over a few weeks ago, I can't remember how many weeks ago, but for a few weeks on the live stream, I had in here a really rather nice Hagstrom Super Swede guitar that was on loan to me, and basically I've made a video with it, and that's what's coming up on Sunday. The usual kind of guitar review, kind of where you see all the weights and measures of the guitar, neck profile and pickup resistance readings and all that stuff, and you hear it in a mix and everything, and basically you're going to hear what that guitar sounds like on Sunday. I will tell you that I was very, very tempted because that guitar is for sale. So when you watch on Sunday's video, and if you like the look of that guitar, then just ping me a message and let me know, because to the best of my knowledge, it hasn't been sold yet, and it is currently for sale. I was very, very tempted myself. Those Hagstrom guitars, all I will say is if you are in the market for something a bit Duesenberg-ish, but you don't have Duesenberg kind of money, then check out these Hagstroms, and you'll hear what it sounds like on Sunday. Then on Monday, a solo analysis. Thank you for the feedback, by the way, on these solo analysis videos. I'm going to I've already put it on the community section. I'm going to kind of fill you in on what's going on with that hopefully if I remember during the live stream. But, you know, there's still a few of these solo analysis videos kind of queued up and ready to go out. And Mondays is, I want to say a big shout out to Ian Clark, who put me onto a band called Doomsday Outlaw. you know, when you first when you hear an album and it just grabs you on the first listen and then you can't stop listening to it. I think a good 75% of the music I've been listening to over the past few weeks has been Doomsday Outlaw. They are a fantastic rock band. They're just kind of good old fashioned foot stomping 70s classic rock. But this, you know, and that's often used as a pejorative, you know, oh, kind of dad rock, kind of classic rock. This is fantastic. It's such energizing, fantastic, well executed, great music with fantastic vocals and guitar playing. Check out Doomsday Outlaw, and you're going to be hearing one of their, or my rendition of one of their solos on Monday. Then Tuesday is a top 5 video. I've got a little bit to say about those videos as well, because I've actually got some notes here that I've come up with. Tuesday's video, top 5 video, and I did one of these top 5 Tuesday videos a while back now where I was talking about my favourite TV themes. Well, it wasn't a huge effort to come up with another 5 because I've been asked to, so that's what's coming up on Tuesday, my top 5 favourite TV themes, or another top 5. Then on Wednesday, the video on Wednesday is called Tune Your Guitar to the Key of 1974. You know, one of the things that sort of, for me, characterises that early to mid-70s kind of classic rock thing is just open G tuning. Every band was doing it, from the Stones to Bad Company. Everybody was, like Elton John even, you know, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, the guitar riff on that is in open G tuning. So we're taking a look at some classic rock open G stuff on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, it's New Guitar Day. There's an unboxing video, and if you want to see which one it is, well, you might already know which one it is because I put a community post up about it a little while ago. But, well, yeah, just check out Thursday's video and you'll see which new guitar is here and is getting unboxed in the first impressions video. And there you go. Robert Forsyth is saying top 5 beers. I've been asked to do a top 5 beers video in the past, but despite the fact that I do love a beer, I mean, you can tell. I mean, look at me. You know, this is a bit of a giveaway, isn't it? When they were handing out chins, I thought they said gins, and I ordered a double. You know, but I do like a beer, but I'm not really into all of this. I've got a mate who's probably watching now who, you know, he picks up a beer and he'll sip it and roll it round his mouth, and then he'll do the whole kind of, I'm getting plums and I'm getting walnuts and I'm getting, you know, it's beer. It's beer. That's all you need to know. It's beer. And is it, you know, over 4%? Check. Is it cold? Check. Job done. That's all you need to know. That's literally my requirements for beer. I do like a nice cask conditioned ale, but it's been so long since I've been kind of drinking that regularly that I think probably I've crossed the line over to the dark side. I think that's my mate texted me. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I won't tell you what he's just called me, but yeah, he's obviously watching. He knows who I was talking about. I think I have crossed over to the dark side and become a lager drinker. And as I say, with lager, as long as it's 4% or above and chilled to perfection, then that ticks all the boxes for me. And I'm a simple lad with simple tastes. Let's have a look in the chat, see what I've missed. Old speckled hen. Yeah, says Tom Clark. Old speckled hen, or spotty chicken, as we call it. That's loopy juice, though, isn't it? That's just like, you know, it's not like a session. I'll tell you what I do like, actually. One lager I do like that I've really kind of acquired a taste for is that Jeremy Clarkson stuff, Hawkston. You can get it on Amazon. I've been watching Clarkson's Farm, and you know, just sort of got curious about the beer, ordered a case from Amazon, and it is a really nice, and it's almost kind of somewhere between a lager and a light ale. It's very tasty and very refreshing, and it gets you where you need to go. Yeah. Anyway, what else? Oh yes, top 5 videos. I was going to talk about those, wasn't I? As many of you may know, I've introduced a new tier on Patreon. My regular Patreon pricing is $3 a month, and you get all of the tabs and jam tracks and all that sort of stuff that goes along with the YouTube videos. Usually about 3 of those kind of things a week. Usually the Monday solo analysis video, the Wednesday, well at the moment kind of Rhythm Wednesday thing, and then the Sunday kind of guitar review or comparison shootout kind of video that I do. So there's like three tabs, jam tracks and stuff like that going up every week. And I've introduced a new tier on Patreon, which is $6 a month. And Patreon only let you price things in dollars, by the way, or if there is a way to price things in pounds sterling, then I haven't found it. But then, it's basically $3 a month. $3 a month for that. The new one is $6 a month, and you get a twice monthly Zoom call with me and all of the other supporters. So we can basically hang out on Zoom. That's going to be 7 p.m. every Tuesday. And I've been thinking about what other benefits I can add to that. Just as an incentive for people to kind of think, well, yeah, maybe it is worth the extra $3. So what I've come up with is this: when I do the top 5 videos, whenever it's about music, whenever it's kind of involving, oh, this is a great album, or that's a great song, or that's a great piece of music, I can't put those on YouTube because it would just like be an immediate copyright strike. How these channels get away with doing reaction videos, I don't know. I did one once and it just got immediately blocked, so you never ever saw it. So I've not done it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting that kind of content in relation to the top 5 Tuesday videos up on Patreon. So it's not going to be every week. It's going to be whenever there's a video I'm talking about my top 5 pieces of music or musicians or whatever in a particular field. Then there will be an extra Patreon video where it's kind of just like a reaction video where I'm kind of saying, as well as doing all the kind of talking about it, then we also get to hear the piece of music as well. So that is what's kind of coming up on Patreon. I'm sort of building that plane as I'm flying it at the moment. So more, watch this space for more news. Basically, watch for further updates. And where are we now? Oh dear me, we're nearly halfway through. So I think that's about time to take a little bit of a look at some viewers' guitars. Let's just go into the relevant folder here and just open this up and open that up. And how's that? Oh, it's even opened up in the right program for some reason. It doesn't often do that. So let's just scroll back to here and do the share screen. And there's my phone pinging again. There we go. So this, and I'm just going to check my what was that again? Oh, I've just got a new Patreon based upon what I've just said there. Thank you so much, Tony Backlinder. I apologise if I'm mangling that. Has just pledged $6. Thank you so much. Anyway, back to the viewers' guitars. This comes from, is it Andrew Patton or Andrew Payton? I'm not sure. But this is his lovely Ibanez V guitar. And I'm imagining this is probably, and he did say in the email, but I don't have the email available at the moment. But this is his lovely Ibanez V, which I'm imagining is probably from the lawsuit era rather. I mean, that is just, you can kind of almost see that in the hands of someone like K.K. Downing or, Michael Schenker or someone, doesn't it? It just screams that sort of late 70s, early 80s, kind of new wave of British heavy metal kind of thing. I don't think I've ever owned a V. that might be something to kind of think about. Anyway, let's see what we've got next. Carl B's latest acquisition, I believe. This is his Squire Classic Vibe 60 Strat. Carl B, as we all know, is a southpaw. So, you know, it's so the guitar is the wrong way around for the most of us, but it's a lovely finish, that, and it's got a tortoiseshell scratch plate, and my kind of tortoiseshell fetish. Yeah, I'm in idle moments at the moment. I'm finding myself just kind of scrolling through eBay and looking at Squire Classic Vibes. Watch this space. Anyway, then this one comes from my old mate in the USA, Dallas Toto. This is his Squire Telly. Now, he is rather sketchy on the details of how this guitar came to exist, but you can see it's got the Rolling Rock kind of thing going on there. Is it Rolling Rock cider, isn't it? And it's I think this is some kind of possibly a Squire Standard Telecaster from the days of yore, when the Squire Standards used to have. Well, the Squire Standards don't exist anymore, but when they had the 22 fret necks, and he just saw this in a local music store, and with a little bit of horse trading and kind of trading in stuff, gear that he didn't use anymore. I think he said this guitar ended up parting with $92 plus in cash, plus whatever he was trading for it. That's a fantastic looking guitar, isn't it? I mean, short of it having a Heineken graphic on it, then it couldn't be even better suited to someone like me. Then Dave Lewis sent me this picture a while ago, but it's only just kind of bubbled to the surface in the random selection that I do every week. This is his Heritage kind of Les Paul special style guitar. And this was news to me. I didn't know that Heritage were doing like a budget line of guitars, because Heritage are the old Gibson factory in Kalamazoo, aren't they? And making guitars the way that Gibson used to make them. I didn't know they'd done like an import line. And this is basically a twin P90 bolt-on neck Les Paul special style guitar, and he loves it. It's I can't remember what he said he paid for it, but he's over the moon with it, and it's it's got the Heritage kind of branding going on. So you got a little bit of what's the word there, brand attribute kind of thing going on, but nice looking guitar. Then I said last week on the live stream that I wasn't a massive fan of green guitars, so David James sent me this picture here. Clearly some sort of homage to, I think, a Music Man Silhouette, and I believe this is, but yes, it's a Tanglewood branded guitar, and that's a shade of green that I think you possibly will agree with me. That's a shade of green that occurs absolutely nowhere in nature. That is like purely anything that is that colour is man-made. That's not the shade that you would see, of any leaf of or any piece of foliage or any kind of flora or fauna that you'd see anywhere in nature. And he just said, "I know you like green guitars." Actually, I don't. So he sent me that, and that's about all I know about it. Let's see what we got next. Oh, we've got David Roberts pedalboard. So that's another thing, by the way. If you want to see your gear on the live stream, then send it in. It doesn't matter whether it's a guitar or whether it's your rig or your amp or your pedalboard or whatever. So what we've got here, we've got some sort of expression pedal. I'm guessing that's probably a wah pedal. Then the New X Horseman, lovely pedal. MXR Phase 90. That's probably some sort of delay there. Then we've got some sort of A/B switcher here. That looks like a tuner, noise gate of some kind. Mobius, I think that's like some sort of modulation thing, isn't it? And this looks like it's the heart of his system, the Tonex pedal. Oh, and the same wireless that I used to have. I've just got myself, although mine was branded as Lacato, but it had that kind of that Batman mask kind of pair of eyes there. That's like, so it's just obviously the same thing, just different branding. Yeah, try as I might, I can't quite get myself excited about the Tonex pedal. I'm hearing all sorts of fantastic reviews about them. Although Rhett Schuld recently did a video where he kind of pointed out the shortcomings of it, which, yeah, I'm happy with the system I've got basically. So I don't need a bazillion different amp profiles to do what I do. But that is David Roberts' pedal board. Nice looking, versatile rig, mate. And then we've got an email that came through, I think, earlier on today. Derek Stopperton's Framus. A Framus 550T Calypso archtop in Tobacco Sunburst that he bought for an absolute song about a quarter of a century ago. It's a real survivor guitar, this. It's never been hacked about or messed around or kind of modified in any way. And, and it's an original kind of, I guess this is a 1950s guitar, isn't it, really? That's just made it to this day and deserves to be congratulated for doing so. Then we've got Dinger 63's G&L tribute guitar. Again, G&L, a brand of guitar I don't think I've ever owned, but, well, we can see what it is. It's when Leo left Fender and just decided to continue building Strats. And many people say that those G&L guitars, when Leo was involved in the country, were some of the best Fender-esque guitars, or Fender-built guitars, even if they didn't have the word Fender on the headstock, that you can find. And, well, Malcolm Spillett's Sire H7 and Epiphone Wildcat. Never owned a Wildcat, but I did own a Sire H7, and it was just everything that you could want in like a 335 style guitar. The fact that it was a fantastic 335 style guitar, and the one that I owned just spent most of its time living on the stand. It was one of the things that convinced me that maybe you kind of inner soul is trying to tell you something that maybe you're just not into 335s. But that is just, I remember when these first came out, these Wildcats, and they were reviewed in Guitarist magazine many, many years ago, just being really kind of, well, I don't think we even had the term gassing for it back then in the 90s. But, thinking, yeah, it's like a little kind of mini-me Brian Setzer guitar, isn't it? Fantastic thing. And then we've got Pete, Axe Caricaturist, who does the that little kind of cartoon drawing of me that you see in all the video thumbnails. This is his Ibanez ASV10 vintage guitar that he's had for many a year, I believe. And again, lovely looking beast, it has to be said. Absolutely gorgeous, and just looks so right against that Bajera amp. We got Theme Tunes, Mr. Theme Tunes, his Epiphone Sheraton. I have the pleasure of being Mr. Theme Tunes' guitar teacher, and he was playing this in the lesson yesterday. And lovely looking guitar, lovely sounding as well. And what happened there? Where did that go? Yeah. Oh, there we go. There it is. And then Rexomatic has been on a bit of a road trip recently, and on his travels, he bought himself this guitar, a lovely Player Strat. I'm not sure if this is one of the Player 2 Strats or whether it's just a Player Series Strat, but I used to have a Strat in this colour, actually. It was one of those Japanese 60s reissue Strats, so it had a rosewood board, and the colour, the official Fender colour, I'm not sure if this is the same colour, but let's say it is, was Sonic Blue. And the drummer in the band I was in at the time always used to call it Fabric Conditioner Blue, because it was the same shade of blue as Lenore, the fabric conditioner. Anyway, chaps, there we go. That is this week's little selection of of guitars that you've sent in. If you want to see your guitars or your amps or your rig or whatever, whatever is your guitar playing pride and joy, if you want to see that on the channel, then send pictures to jrguitartuition@gmail.com, jrguitartuition@gmail.com, and they'll go into the pile to be shown on the stream. Excuse me, I'm just going to pour another beer and then I'm going to catch up on the chat. That was the chair squeaking, by the way, not me, in case you're wondering. So let's charge our glasses. Oh, I just want to mention while I'm on the new tier for Patreon. The first scheduled Zoom call will be at 7 p.m. UK time on September the 3rd. Okay, so just I want to kind of give it a little bit of time to build up, so I'm not just sat here kind of talking to two people or one or two people. Yes, flake everyone. Let's have a look, see what's been going on as we go up. Gordo Canuck is saying, John, that is an important comment. Once you find your sound, do you stop looking at new gear, or is it a constant consumer affliction? A gas inflection, so to speak. Yeah, a little bit of both. I've been curious about that Jim's 45 pedal for a while, because I had a brief play of one when a student brought one into a lesson a few months ago. I thought I'd like to really check one of those out. But in terms of like the tone that I'm getting, I've never been happier than I am with the blue guitar amp. And in terms of guitars, I mean, I did a video about this years ago where I was talking about how I didn't want any more guitars. I was just kind of content with what I'd got at the time. I think this was when I'd just got the Gordon Smith that I played for quite a while. And, I'm just not... There aren't that many guitars that get me kind of hot under the collar anymore. Like, I've had a few emails asking me to do the... is it the Squire debut guitars that are available on Amazon for ridiculously low prices? I'm a bit meh about them, because it's, at the end of the day, it's probably going to be a guitar that's made in the same factory as a Harley Benton or a Jet or what they're called. Is it Donna? Can't remember. But we know there are a bunch of factories that make all of these budget brands, and it's like, well, I've probably reviewed that guitar already, just with a different badge on the headstock. So there aren't many guitars that sort of get me kind of gassing for it, and occasionally one will poke through, like that PRS. That CE24 that you've seen many times on the channel. But really speaking, this guitar here is becoming the number one at the moment. There's just the versatility of this. I've talked about this guitar many times, especially, as you may know, stainless steel frets. Thanks to Agrajag guitars. They've got another one of my guitars at the moment that's currently getting the same treatment. Watch the space for more details. But I think once you find the one, then even if the one isn't necessarily permanently the one, because I've made that declaration a few times about certain guitars, and then like a year or 18 months later, it's time to say goodbye to this one. But once you kind of get settled in and comfortable with the guitar, and that's the one that you want to play, it does sort of dampen the desire to try out new stuff. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Rent to Kill is saying, I'll have to sadly miss September 3rd on train from Nottingham to Middlesbrough, £169 return. Is that 169 miles or £169? I don't know. Either would be credible, wouldn't it? You know, we have some of the highest train fares in the world in this country, you know. Which I remember in 1975, I was at school, and I think it was the 150th anniversary of the first ever passenger railway, the George Stephenson's Stockton to Darlington Railway with, was it the Rocket or Locomotion Number 1? You know, the early steam railway. You know, so essentially we basically figured out and invented railway travel in this country, in this part of the world right here. And now it's just like, it's ridiculously expensive, it's unreliable, never runs on time, and you know, everyone else seems to do it better. But anyway, Rent-A-Kill says pounds. Oh dear me. Theme Tunes is saying 7 p.m. is dinner time, dinner serve time here. Can't make that. I'd get a fatwa from the missus. Oh well, we don't know. I don't want to be imposing on your domestic bliss, mate. Peter Nicholson is saying, have I ever come across Wolf guitars? I've heard about them many, many times. And much like IYV guitars and Firefly guitars and a few other brands, you see loads of YouTube videos about these, but you just can't get them in the UK, or they are as rare as rocking horse shite, that they're just nowhere available. So yes, I've heard of Wolf guitars. I think they were made in the same factory as a brand that again, years ago on the channel I mentioned, I did a couple of videos actually about indie guitars, INDIE, indie guitars. And I don't know how reliable this is, but I was told that they came from the same factory. But that might be, you know, open to interpretations. Dr. Gomez once saying the Les Paul. The Les Paul is, yeah, here it is. I have a little bit of work planned for this guitar as well. This is one that I may not play it all the time, but I absolutely love this guitar. Whenever I pick it up, I always think, why do I play anything else? It's weird. You know, it's just, whenever I pick it up, it just feels right. And then there'll be some occasion where, you know, I'll be doing something, I'll be doing a lesson or a solo or something where a Les Paul just isn't the right vibe, so I'll pick up something with single coils in it or something, and then the Les Paul just kind of stays there for a week, and then I'll pick it up again and, oh yeah, this is nice. Yeah, that one's going nowhere. I've got new comments. Let's have a look. Vincent Brennan, if you could take guitar parts to make a dream guitar, what would they be? Well, I was thinking about this actually, funnily enough, recently, because I've just had another guitar going to Agrajag for some stainless steel frets. And long-term planning, I am thinking about getting James at Agrajag to build a guitar for me. And what it would be is just, if you know the Jeff Beck Telegib guitar, that sort of twin humbucker Telecaster that Seymour Duncan built for Jeff Beck, aesthetically it would look like that. Without it, it wouldn't be relict or anything, but it would look very much like that. It would have 22 frets. It would have kind of PAF style humbuckers and possibly some sort of coil tap, coil split function for single coil tones. It would definitely have a like an out of phase thing to get the Peter Green tones, and it would have stainless steel frets. And I would basically, when talking about the neck profile, I would just take this guitar to James and say, remember this one? You refret, just kind of measure the living daylights out of this neck profile and put that on that. So that would be, I think, the my sort of next custom build. That I think that's where I would go with that if I could pick. So it would be like a Jeff Beck Telegib, but kind of brought up to date with stainless steel, 22 frets, neck profile from that guitar, coil splitting, and out of phase. That would be where I think I would go. Maria Muggs Davis enjoyed watching the video of you, the Lamb, and Steve Cassidy and Johnny. Will you all be doing a song for Christmas? Oh, dear me, don't start talking about Christmas. We did one last year. Watch this. I've not even thought about that yet. I kind of started planning that one back in, I think it was about October or so. Of 2023 to get the 2023 Christmas thing. I don't know. It would be nice, but it would be, we'll see. We'll see who's available, what I've got time to do, and so on. It would be nice, but I'm not making any promises. Chris Otterwell saying a bit like Blondie. Then, yeah, that's the guitar we don't mention anymore. I would love to tell you the full story of why I don't play that guitar anymore, but I did tell you the full story about why I don't play that guitar anymore, and then a certain individual threatened me with legal action, so that's why I took the video down. Anyway, we're not going to dwell on that. Dear me, I'm finished early tonight. That's the third beer gone. Get Johnny to write a punk song for Christmas, says Johnny Random. Let me just scroll through the chat. I've been waffling away tonight, and I missed loads in the chat. Colin Falcon says he was tempted by a Wolf guitar a couple of years back. However, the shipping from the US of A was almost the same as the cost of the guitar. This is it, yeah. Importing a guitar over here from the USA is just ridiculously expensive. If I bob me head that way, you can see that Nashville Telecaster on the back wall there. I've told this story many times, so I'll kind of keep it brief, but a very generous chap who I know in the USA called Joe, who's a guitar collector, kind of told me he had one of those, and he just wanted to give me it for like everything I do on YouTube and everything, and for the and for basically for being me, which is such an incredibly generous thing. But it was going to cost him so much to ship the guitar over to the UK that it was cheaper for him to just order me one from Toman in Europe to have it delivered to me than it was to ship the guitar, like the Fender Deluxe Nashville Telecaster. It was cheaper to do that, to buy a new guitar and get it delivered to me, than it was to ship an existing guitar from the States over to here. Let's have a look. Would the dream guitar be traditional telecontrols or deluxe type? It would, yeah. That would be another thing that I would actually have on it. Just a traditional Telecaster kind of control plate with a master volume and master tone. But one thing that I am toying with the idea of having installed in at least one guitar here is a blower switch. If you don't know what that is, it's basically, as you know, I like to kind of use the volume control on the guitar to kind of get me clean sound. So I dial in a fairly raunchy, kind of overdriven tone on the guitar, on the amp rather, and then clean it up on the guitar. And a blower switch is when you can just kind of flick a switch or hit a push pot or something like that, and it just goes straight bridge pickup, humbucker mode, straight to the output socket. So it bypasses the tone control and everything. So you can just kind of just hit that, and you can just go to like a big ballsy lead sound, and then kind of go back again to the sound that you got dialed in on the controls. It's one thing I love about the Les Paul, actually, which is that I can set up you can't see, I can set up like me clean sound on this pickup, and then just go to the kind of lead sound on that pickup and back again, and it's right there. It's like you don't even have to hit the pedal. It's just turn the control on the guitar. It's just like, there's your lead sound, there's your rhythm sound. So perhaps the sort of independent master volume and tone controls have something to be said for them. But yeah, I think I would go for the blower switch option. Let's have a look. Scroll back up again. I've just seen a comment there that I can't find now. Excuse me. No, it seems to have disappeared. Did you mention the super chat during the guitar picks? I didn't, because I don't see those when I'm sharing my screen. But there it is. Glyn McKnight. I love your Friday show, and I'm learning on a Roland FP10 keyboard, but at least I'm not a drummer. Oh, well, thank you, mate. That's a very, very generous donation. Apologies that I missed that, but when I'm sharing the screen, I don't see the super chats coming in. That's something I might have to look into, seeing seeing if I can do that. But thank you so much. That is such a generous donation. Thank you, Glyn. You are a gentleman, sir. Thank you so much. Learning on a Roland FP10 keyboard. So you're a keyboard player. At least you're not a drummer. Well, yes, there is that. Anyway, where's this? It's going to bug me now. This. I can't find this. Rent to Kill. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. I found it. If the USA is so fantastic, why did they make USB? Yeah, okay, mate. The USA comes in for a lot of flack, and I've got a lot of American friends, and it's I'll be a staunch defender of the USA. The one thing I will not be a staunch defender of, though, is USB. Because USB, what does the U stand for in USB? It stands for universal, right? Somebody that designs universal serial bus leads needs to take a cold, long, hard look at themselves and realise what the word universal means. Why do I need a different universal lead to charge my my phone to the one that I use to charge my head torch for when I'm walking the dog on a dark morning, and a different one to charge to fit to my printer, and a different one for the. There are so many. There are a lot of different non-interchangeable, supposedly universal serial bus leads. I think that might be there might be a bit of a video rant in that one, but anyway. A drummer is at the door when knock the speed up. Yes. How can you tell when there's a singer at the door? They've got the wrong key and they don't know when to come in. How does a singer change a light bulb? They just grab hold of it and wait for the world to revolve around them. And with those bad musician jokes, I think we're about done here, chaps. I'm gonna I'm gonna finish my beer. I've already finished my beer. It went down rather smooth tonight. There's Jeff Crouch. Nice to see you, mate. Thank you for joining. Better late than never. And that's where we're at for tonight, folks. Thank you once again for turning up and watching a fat bald lad talk absolute nonsense for an hour. It's been a blast, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please.